Hey everyone, it's Rye bringing you the next episode in my Civ specific ramblings. And truthfully, when I thought to make this series, the two Civs that I wanted to cover the most were Sue and Assyria. So these were going to be my first two episodes anyway. For those of you who voted on my poll, I really appreciate it. I'll be looking at whoever wins that poll is the next one I do following this one, but always kind of had in the back of my head that I wanted to cover Assyria and Sue, so it's time for Assyria. Now, a lot of people who don't know me don't realize that I think Assyria is probably one of the best tradition civs in the entire game. That being said, it's most commonly an honor civ throughout most of NQ, and it's not for no reason either, right? You can kind of see here on the picture on the left. This is a picture I took today, where a siege tower is damaging Port-au-Prince for 106, right? Cities by default have 200 HP, so it's doing over half its HP in one hit, right? And you can have multiple siege towers. Like, the insane thing about siege towers, and this is the reason why it's a good honor civ, is you're able to only have to build 2 or 3, and you can take every single CS on the map really fast. And those things, the siege towers are super tanky, so they don't really lose much health. Now, I will say it's strictly an honor sim civ because the unit itself is pretty useless in combat. It's not allowed to attack other things. If you put a scout in its way, it can't get by, right? Because it's just not allowed to attack anything. So for that reason, it's only allowed to attack cities. So for that reason, it's not that great, but it's really good for honor sim. So, and additionally, siege units gets 1 more movement. Not really going to cover that because that's just a general Assyria thing, and I wanted to kind of focus on the early game of Assyria. So if you want to learn how to play honor, I have an honor guide in my channel. I'll put a link in the description of this video for that if you're interested, but that's really not what we're going to be focused on today. We're going to be focused on, remember, this is kind of a ramblings about what makes certain civs really cool. What optionality do you have on certain civs that really sets them apart from other ones? And Assyria is one of them, right? They have a pretty good bias at avoid tundra, and that actually couples pretty well with their honors idea because you're more likely to get city-states that aren't in tundra as well, and it kind of sets you up for a better early game. But the main thing I wanted to cover here is actually the idea of tradition Assyria. Now, what makes Assyria a good tradition civ? It's actually a weird interaction that it has with legalism. So as you all know, if you've seen my tradition guides, you'll know I say you skip a monument as tradition because you get a free one from legalism, right? Assyria is one of the only civs where you actually want to build a monument first on tradition, because the way legalism works is it provides a free culture building, right? That could mean anything. It's the next available building that you don't have that provides culture that isn't a wonder. That's what the game classifies this as, right? That could mean literally anything. Any building that you can think of that has culture, you could get for free. If you built a monument on anyone, for the most part, and you went legalism, in your capital, you'll likely have a free amphitheater because eventually it just gets there, right? So I think this kind of concept is really cool. Now, what if we put culture on their unique building that makes it even stronger, and one of the crux of what tradition wants to do? Tradition, as you all know, really wants to finish tradition, and the best way to do that is with Oracle. So what if we combine all of these things? We build a monument as tradition, so it might slow us down a little bit in the early game, but we're able to get a free library. So on turn 12 or on turn 16, we'll have a library in our capital. Right? And not just any library, the Assyrian library, which has 1 extra culture and 1 extra science, And it comes with a great work slot filled, which means we're producing early tourism. We're getting free culture from the great work slot. We're getting free culture from the library itself. So that's 3 culture for that building. And we're getting the science. That's going to allow us to tech to Oracle before anyone could even think of getting there. We're looking at entering philosophy on turn like 26, 27 without great library while building settlers, right? You can kind of see where I'm going with this. This is why this strategy is so good. Not only that, we also get another free writer at philosophy, which allows us to compound those tourisms once we get, you know, another library up in one of our expands. I'm going to cut to some actual game footage. I'm not going to be doing this for every rambling, but I want to make it illustrative here because I think it's important. Here's a game. I just randomly rolled this game. I've played out this first 6 turns as Assyria. Do I have a tradition cap? Kind of. It's fairly food light, but there's a good amount of river tiles. You could definitely make tradition work here, right? There's 3 granaries in cap, another maze. It's a lot of plains for sure, but the land around it looks pretty solid. You could play Liberty here. I don't think I'd really want to play Honor. The city-states are too far. This is a game where I know myself I'd be baited to play Tradition Assyria. That being said, one of the main things you want to think about when you're picking this is you don't force it every game. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Instead of forcing it, kind of assess the situation. Does it look like a Tradition game? Rather, is it a game where I could get away with playing Tradition? Because realistically, we're limited still by what Tradition is capable of, in that it's a tree that really requires good land. It's fairly demanding of like a strong early game. So make sure you check all those boxes before you commit to this. And the other thing I'm going to mention is definitely try this strategy out before you try it in a no quitters game, because it is not intuitive. You have to really learn to adjust on the fly. But yeah, let's just go from there. So here we went scout. As we know, it's turn 6. I think we found a gold ruin, which is why our gold's so good. Monument worker. Okay, this looks like a normal Liberty start, honestly, and this is kind of the nice thing. You can kind of flex if you want to play Liberty here. So I'm just going to pick this rune up. Okay, got a spear. That can actually be very good. Okay, found Burma. Great. I'm going to kind of just be coasting through this, not really thinking too much. But a spear is very good on Tradition Assyria because any opportunity we have to... I'm going to go snag this rune. Any opportunity we have to speed up our early game is so much more important on this civ than I'd argue any other civ. So the fact that we got it doesn't look like it's going to turn into much, but the fact that we got a spear allows us the opportunity to tribute. And tributing obviously is one of the best ways to speed up your early game. Hopefully we get a pop rune here. That'd be great. Masonry, gold ruin. No pop, but that's okay. Maybe it'll come. And then right here, I'm actually going to tech writing, right? So this is one of the other things you want to think about. Writing here is so important because writing is how we unlock the ability to get this for free. So we're very much limited by whenever we tech writing. That's when we can actually see the benefit of what we did. Because right now, I'm going to click legalism, and I'm going to get... or I'm going to open tradition, right? And then I'm going to click legalism. I'm not going to get anything. I'm not going to get anything for it. Unless, of course, I get writing here. So let's hope we get writing. It'd be great. Okay, there's pop ruin. Writing in 3, legalism in 3. This is looking quite good. This actually scout might die. Whatever. Maybe I can get a tribute down there. We'll see. And as most of you know, I am... Okay, nice. I am a sucker for getting to 5 pop on trad, so I think we're going to try to do that this game. Taipei is not flatland. Okay. Let's bring this back. And let's look for a worker steal. So, this is going pretty stock standard, I'd say. I don't want to chop here yet because I want to make sure I'm working this tile. But here's where it changes. And then maybe we go shrine here just because to bridge the gap. All right. I'm going to take trapping because we have truffles. And watch what happens when I click legalism here, right? So we're at 9 science, 6 culture per turn. We already have the monument. 9 culture. And then 12 science. So we just went up 3 science and 3 culture. Just for clicking legalism, right? It's crazy. Okay. Let's go and try to hope for a worker steal here. Can even justify buying a worker. This isn't very like realistic, but I don't give a shit. You can't always expect the worst, I guess. So now we're at 3 workers. So now let's go here and just start improving this stuff. All right, so where do we want to settle here? You know, I don't want to make this a guide on how to play, because that kind of defeats the purpose. But it's hard for me not to talk about it a little bit. So let's go straight into settlers here. Yeah, that looks about right. Move this over. And then obviously we're gonna go land at elite, 3 turning that because we just chopped a bunch of times. So that city, that looks great. City maybe here, and then city. They're on the coast here, probably on the coast. On the coast looks okay. Okay, so we got trapping. Let's improve that. Do we want to improve the amber first? I think we do. I'm going to clear that just so I can start getting steals. And you see, I'm kind of just absolutely obliterating this tech tree because I already have the library and I'm 14 science per turn. So we just met Songhai. There's Attila. Just go here. Why not? So I think I'm going to settle this city down here first. It's close to where my workers are going to be ending up. So let's do that. Clear that. No worker steal. I mean, it's kind of made up, which is uncommon for sure, but it's obviously made up by the fact that we got a worker buy, which is debatably even better. So I'm just going to clear this camp here, and then hopefully that'll get us to where we want to go. All right. Meet that city-state there. On horse is obviously great. Okay, that's a worker. Worker. And I kind of want to either buy that tile or buy this tile. So because we're here, let's buy that. We should have started improving this then in that case, but it's fine. Maybe we can get another okay, well, we did find a city-state, so that's nice. Okay, that rune would not be there. Kind of don't even want to take it. Okay, it's culture. It's so irrelevant. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right. We are 5 turns off. Let's go to the coast. We already have our workers over there. Oh shit, this was supposed to meet that city state. Okay, it's fine. It's fine, Copium. Okay, and then we grew there. So this is actually working out really well. Okay, I don't know what that means. All right, let's go there. Another city down. Then we're coming up on being able to start building our wonder very, very soon. And I want to a point I wanted to make. This game is actually something of an anomaly because of how many like different, like we got a masonry, like we could have had philosophy sooner than this. So this is actually nothing like crazy. In fact, this is like fairly slow timing. If we didn't free tech bronze working and masonry and said we only got like one of them and the other one was more useful kind of thing, like there's a ton of different ways this could have gone. Is kind of what the point I'm trying to make here. Okay, so let's stake these. Cool. Get sailing and then just start on Oracle. And none of this should be weird to anyone. I'm kind of playing very much by the book. And we're projected to get Oracle by 41, which isn't anything special. By no means. This could have swapped. But it kind of just goes to show, like, 41 it is nothing special when you compare doing what I'm doing, right? Compared to a normal game, that is ungodly fast, right? Like that is so fast. But only in this context is it actually not as impressive as some other timings that I've personally gotten. You know, here you could keep playing on, but you kind of see the point at which I'm making. Like, this game would be pretty crazy. We're gonna get tradition finished by turn. I'm gonna have tradition 4 by turn 37, and then Oracle as soon as it comes down. I finished tradition with this strategy by turn 40, by turn 38. Sorry, which is just unheard of, right? If I took, you know, I mean, I've done builds with this where you take altars of worship and you start pumping stuff out, and then you know, maybe one of these cities comes on a little faster or whatever it might be, and they can send a cargo, or maybe you had a lot of worker steals and one of them doesn't need to go worker and it could go granary right into cargo, right? There's a ton of different ways you can take this, all of which kind of speed your game up tremendously. So that's all I really wanted to cover. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you guys have learned something. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.